Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dashboard Fridays. I'm Adam from SquaredUp, and today my colleague Nathan is with me. Hey Nathan.
Hi, Adam.
Thank you very much for coming on. Nathan's a software engineer here, and he's got a pretty cool dashboard that he put together recently as part of our internal dashboard competition, but it has some pretty cool real world use. It's changing lives in a positive way. So Nathan, I've brought the dashboard up. Why don't you give us a quick sort of walkthrough of what it's for, why you built it?
Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, I have family that lives out in Denver in the US, and it's a semi-arid desert. So water is both, economically and environmentally precious to keep track of. So we threw together this small little device to track the water into a SQL database. And then the next thing you need to do, we pull up the little device here. The next thing you need to do is actually display it. So we've got this cool little Arduino device that records readings into a SQL database, but that's no good if you're like, hey, just go look at the table.
Sure.
So yeah, I thought we'd throw it up on a dashboard for the competition, get some Lego, and also
Yeah, nice. So the device is tracking sort of water consumption, bunch of sensors, sort of tracking all that kind of stuff. And yeah, this is it's a pretty cool way to sort of visualize it all. I like the fact that you've got sort of temperature, you've got humidity, you've got a bunch of stuff on there. Um,
yep.
so yeah,
We put a couple
obviously,
warnings. Oh, sorry, I put a couple warnings on the temperature.
yeah,
Make sure we get an email if the unit is in a place where it's going to freeze, because a leak would be detrimental. That's also why we've got the water per hours to see if it climbs, because those are.
yeah. I spot the Wi-Fi connection status tile as well. What was the motivation there?
Yeah, so it's just a little C sharp or C++ program, and my programming's a little weak there. So I just have it post when it connects, and then this gives me an easy way to see if it's connected recently. So a heartbeat, I guess, would be the fancier way of saying.
Nice, nice. I guess you could use something like SQL Analytics to just show sort of the time difference between when it last reported in, and maybe alert on that as well at some point.
Yeah, I could do, yeah, the most recent minus the current time, and if it's more than an hour or two, do something like that would work well.
Yeah, nice, nice. So yeah, you mentioned it was SQL. So where is the data actually being stored?
Yeah, so the data gets pushed up to Azure via a Azure Logic app, and it gets dropped into SQL. And one of my favorite things with SQL, as well as the SQL plugin here, is it makes for great rapid prototyping. So I've got that data just in a tabular database there. And without having to do a bunch with it, I was actually able to go in here, pick our custom SQL metrics, and then just put in a query and say, you know what, out of my Wi-Fi readings table, give me the data between the time frame of start and end, which is pretty nice because then we can change time frames, where the reading unit is a gallon. And then SquaredUp kind of took it from there and drew out the lines and stuff.
Nice. So those where you've got time frame dot start and time frame end in the mustache curly brackets, that's passing in the dashboard time frame, right? So if you change it from 7 days to 30 days, it's going to dynamically change your query to get the right data.
Exactly, yeah. And the SQL plugin supports that, as well as our ODBC plugin and a couple others that I had worked on. And it does give you an easy way to pass through those dates to the end system, because there's no reason, the dashboard should have to deal with millions of rows when we can just pass through dates right back and let the source system filter them out.
Nice. So I guess the bulk of this solution here is kind of external to SquaredUp. It's the Arduino box. It's passing stuff up to SQL. It's your logic app. It's sort of getting all that running. Once you've got the data into something, we have a plugin for. It sounds like it was pretty simple to sort of build this dashboard.
Yeah, very very simple. And at least for me, I kind of like the nuts and bolts and stuff, but visualization is always kind of a challenge for me. So that was the part I didn't really want to do. I like writing SQL, stored procedures, integrations and stuff, and then the visualization came up, so it was a perfect fit for topping off this project.
Nice. Do you have other people accessing this, or is it just you checking it out
It
now and again?
Yeah, it's me and my dad. So he's the one out there working on the garden. Um, which is good. It's him and his dog just chilling, perfect retirement garden, right? Just kind of hanging out and doing that. So he's less interested in the stuff behind the scenes, really just wants to know if there's a leak as well as the cost going forward. And then I do the stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, there's a couple of us that use it.
Are there any other anything else on this that's alerting? Is it just about the sort of the warnings around around the temperature and humidity, or are you alerting for average gallons per day being too high or anything like that?
It's currently just the freeze, but we had looked at instead of just setting a high limit for the number of average gallons, looking at an average. We're thinking once you have a couple months, you could do some cool stuff with either SQL or SQL Analytics and say, you know what, if I'm twice of what I used last month, throw an alert because, for whatever reason, that is quite a bit more than you should. And then you can go in and choose to ignore it or not. But yeah, we're looking at getting a little more of that in there.
Nice. When I covered the my home power generation dashboard, which quite similarly is a Raspberry Pi, putting data into AWS TimeStream, the sort of the crazy next step I took was combining solar forecasting from Open Weather Map, looking at the UV index and trying to forecast how much energy I should be able to produce. So I get you could probably go a bit wild with the temperature data, maybe get some temperature forecasting built in, maybe look at average water consumed per temperature and use that as your baseline kind of stuff. There's all sorts of neat things you can do with this kind of data.
It'd be cool to get the weather plugin. We'd also talked about preventing watering. So if it's forecasted to rain tomorrow and the next day, maybe you tell the computer not to water today, because why pay if there's rain in the forecast? Kind of like you're doing forecasting the solar stuff too.
Yeah,
and that's something I think there's a plugin for that too. Weather we can just pull in.
There is, yeah, Open Weather Map plugin. Yeah, there's a couple of cases where I've looked at using notifications to actually drive my home kit as well. So when it looks like it's when the forecast for tomorrow is heavy, it sets a status on a health tile, and I use that to charge overnight or not charge overnight. Sort of automation through dashboarding is pretty neat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really, really nice looking dashboard. Anything else worth calling out, or shall I go ahead and wrap us up?
Yeah, nothing yet, but yeah, looking forward to getting more on there. Just since it's simple data, kind of like the power you're talking about. But once you surface it, you can do a lot with it. So
yeah, really nice, really great stuff.
Working up.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you very much, Nathan, for joining me today. Thanks to everyone for checking out this video. We have a bunch of other videos available on our dashboard gallery, some good write-ups, some more, let's say, work-focused dashboards. I mean, if you're a gardener, this is a pretty work-focused dashboard, so kudos for that, Nathan. But yeah, SquaredUp.com/dashboard gallery. And if you have any questions or you're stuck with anything, you just generally want to chat about a technical topic, head over to Community Answers, community.squareup.com. Big community there, sort of growing, about 3,000 users now. You can ask questions on pretty much anything, SquaredUp related or not. So yeah, check that out. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.